joining us, criminal defense attorney, former prosecutor, David Bruno. David, great to see you as always, my friend. And you know, this is one of those cases where the sentence is known, right? It's mandatory life in prison without parole. But there's victim impact statements still extremely important because, again, we often debate whether they have any effect at all. It won't have an effect in this case, but certainly it has an effect on the victims, their ability to express themselves in court.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the primary thing here. Look, it's because of the first degree with deliberation in Colorado, it is a mandatory life without parole, right? So there's no leniency. And oftentimes we're on this network and we're watching sentencing where there is discretion from the court. And that's where victim impact statements and aggravating and mitigating factors are so important, because that's really what's required in the balancing when sentencing somebody to a crime. In this case, and some other states, it does not have any discretion. So basically, we all know what he's going to get. He's going to get life without parole, but it is therapeutic for the victims and the family members. And we're seeing this. We're seeing the family step up and talk about the victim. And I'd imagine that it is therapeutic for them to get it out and really feel, and those emotions get to run through. And that's what we're really watching here. It's so sad to hear from the family because, you know, this could have went a completely different way. Could have went a divorce, you know, separate. And instead, we saw what happened, the deliberation, the research, the purchasing, and the cover-up.
Yeah, and the cover-up, to me, is a big deal when we talk about the fact that there's really no room for leniency here. If there was some sort of balancing act, when you start thinking about who this guy is and what he did in this case, just a serial cheater, had 6 kids at home, a wife devoted to him and the family, taking care of the family. Seems like she's a very nice person. She suffered. He not only premeditated it, but what he premeditated was for her to suffer. And we know she suffered. She went back and forth to court, and finally, then he tried to cover it up by creating more lies. So if there was balancing act in this case, he probably would have had no chance anyway.
Yeah, well said. It was also critical in the evidence itself on consciousness of guilt, right? Because he was saying suicide. He was trying to present an alternative theory to the death. And then when you just stack on top the after conduct and the evidence that was shown of cover-up and all these other actions that were trying to show that this was something other than a murder, it actually goes to the consciousness of guilt and was critical in the case itself for prosecutors to get this conviction.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, David, stand by.